Robin and I had heard about the organization, and we decided we were going to come, and somebody recommended coming first and sit and kind of see how things go, and we hadn't got our schedules around to doing that, and then Keena invited us, so it's kind of off the cuff. I don't know how exciting it'll be. I know we're really excited about our business. This is my wife, Robin. We're both Delaware natives, both born in Dover, and we kind of stuck around pretty close. I left for about 9.5 years, went to the Marine Corps, went to college, and then had a family, and then decided I wanted to do something else in life. So I did it all backwards. And we don't want to go too far into our story, but I will tell you a little bit. We went to high school together. She had a high school sweetheart, I had a high school sweetheart. We were friends, we did things socially together as groups, floats and dances and things. I knew who she was, she knew who I was. She went on to marry her high school sweetheart, I married mine. She lasted 20 years, I lasted 17. They decided to do other things that we won't mention, but unproductive to marriage. And we ran into each other again, and I wasn't really looking for a girlfriend, wife, anything. I'd had enough heartache and nonsense. Probably the same for her. So we decided we'll just be friends. We did that for some time, for a long time, and developed a friendship that grew into what we have now. And we were married 3 years ago, and we've decided, because of all the events in our life, that some we had control of, some we didn't, that we would pursue whatever dreams we have. And that's what we're doing. And we're traveling, we got a list, and that one day we want to go to Serengeti and just look at a natural zoo. I'm going to be up in a truck like really high. I said, lion, how high can this lion jump? Because I want to be up higher than that. So I don't want to be mauled to death. I'm not the guy who wants to pet on any of that. So, but we are truly living our dream. We have probably half as what we may have had other times in our life, but we're really much happier. And people envy our relationship. It is a great one. It's the epitome of relationships. And so Robin has been a nurse for over 20 years. I spent a lot of time in this school, not necessarily this campus, but the one in Dover. I pursued radiology. Did that, some things happened, I withdrew from the program for personal reasons. I had finished my bachelor's work in allied health, so I figured I better finish my associate's work in the medical field. I didn't want to be EMT or paramedic or certain things, and so I did the surgical technology program for a while. I'll just say it, by the end of that, I really wasn't confident that that's what I wanted to do, and switched and finished in business and have an organizational, bachelor's in organizational business. And about 50 some extra credits, and really should be a doctor, but what do you do? So we've decided with a $12 million industry that we would pursue the resale business. Some people call it thrift. We kind of shy away from that because that sort of denotes somebody bringing all their junk that they don't want and can't sell, and then you get to throw most of it away. So we purchase about 95% of what we have in our store. We take some donations. We're very specific on what we really want because we know now what we can sell and what we can't. And so we've done that. We started in Long Neck. We researched the area, did demographics. And I'm going to let Robin tell you a little bit about that. I don't want to hold the mic, but she knows the demographics. You don't want to do that? But anyway, I guess between 2000 and
45% growth rate in the past 10 years in Long Neck.
We can't hear you. Is it on? There you go. Okay.
Okay. 45% growth rate in the past 10 years in the Long Neck area. So we decided that would be like a perfect place to set up and start. And lots of retirees, people looking to furnish beach houses, second houses. So lots of people don't want to spend a lot of money for new furniture for necessarily a beach house. So, taking all that into consideration, we decided that's where we would set up.
That's you. So that's who we are. What we do is, the only analogy that I can come up with is we're treasure hunters that solve people's problems. And that's a little ironic because most treasure hunters just solve their own problems. And you've probably heard, if I had $1 million, all my problems would be solved. But I know millionaires that all their problems aren't solved. They actually have more than I have. So, but what we do is, we search for treasures, and there's so many things that we find like, wow, we make one-of-a-kind things. We had some pictures, but we forgot them in the rush of the morning because I have to bring furniture out of my store. So we started at 6 a.m. instead of 9 a.m. And we have an employee there that can manage the store. So our schedule is a little off, but we make things. I have pallet things we make out of pallets that people are actually amazed there are more pallets. And I have a gentleman that has a tree business, and he cuts me pieces of wood that I make into tables, stuff like that. So very unique pieces that you can say no one else has this. Some people like that. And so we solve their problems that way. We have a lady, a young lady, that she got her first trailer. She came to us when we delivered the first piece of furniture. It was empty. There wasn't a thing in it other than a refrigerator and a stove. She bought furniture from us a little at a time. She's been there 4 or 5 times. Very excited. She has her whole home decorated. There's a bed in every room. It's a 3-bedroom, desk in 2 of the rooms. She has an entertainment center, a TV, several chairs, a couch, a hutch. You can call it a china cabinet or hutch. It's lighted and really has a nice place, and was like brought to tears because of the opportunity. Who has $4,000 or $5,000 to go spend on a dining room set or a living room set or a bedroom? I don't. And then, a month later, it's worth 10% of that. And I tell people that when I buy their furniture, because they start with, I paid $1,600 for this. And I'm like, I'm sure that you did. But the reality of it is that today, it's probably worth about 10% of that, unfortunately. And that's a really tough state for me to be in to try to deal with it. Oh, I'm sorry, we're at the end. Sort of like the movie. I have just finished my opening statement. Anyway, that's our story. We have built a great customer relation base. We know people that are in our community. They know who we are. And right now we're just looking, and we'll talk about that in the question and answer. I'm sure it'll come up. So.
Great, thank you.
That was the fastest 6 minutes I've ever had in my life.
Thank you for using the mic, because they do record it, so it sounds, they catch the sound that way.
Again, what is the name of your store? And exactly what is your address?
Okay. Yeah, we have a couple of things. The name of our store is 3 Good Things. People think, well, there's just 3. It is new, used, and handcrafted merchandise. So that's the 3 good things. We carry new things, brand new, right out of the box, but they're still discounted off of retail. Used things, obviously we buy storage lockers, we go to estate sales, we clean houses out, different things. So wherever we can get quality merchandise, we try to find it at a reasonable cost. So we can pass that along. We're not trying to get rich. It would be nice to do that, but that's not our goal.
What's your address? Where is your store located?
We're in Oak Orchard in Millsboro, right on Route 24, John J. Williams Highway. The number is 28564. And we're right in front of Atlantic Self Storage. We have 2 of the suites in that little center.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's great. My favorite shopping is for used furniture. Other questions, comments?
I myself am new to this area. I have come from central Pennsylvania, so I was very surprised when I settled here that there are a lot of antique shops and businesses that are doing somewhat similar, offering that furniture and those home goods. So how do you find yourself kind of competing and setting yourself apart from the competition in this area?
Well, one big thing is we build relationships with the people that come and shop at our place. You're not just in our home with us. We care about the people that we serve. The other thing is our prices are excellent. We're, like Tom said, we're not here to get rich. We know what we have to make the bills, and, you know, that's what we charge. We don't mark things up 100%. We don't specialize. When we first started, we thought we'd be like a high-end antique store. Didn't work out like that at all. We had to quickly rethink our business plan. Yeah, very quickly. So we have lots of vintage items, older items, nice items, but they're not antiques, so we don't have to charge like, I feel like we have to charge an arm and leg for everything. So that's basically, the customer service, that's our number one thing. We've been to a few places that, before we started our business, and walked out and said, okay, that's not what we don't want to do. So we've tried to kind of do things a little different.
Are you pleased with your inventory turnover?
We are very pleased with our inventory turnover. We keep getting more inventory, trying to get it over quickly, but we're out of room, we're out of space. We need to grow. It's been 5 months, and we have to bring stuff out. Our dilemma right now is we have to bring furniture, Tom does, and our other guy, Eric, out of the store in order to open the store, because we cram it. I mean, the aisle, walking aisles, everything's just crammed at night. If we have a rainy day or bad weather, we're kind of out of luck because people can't get in and look around at what we have because the space is so small.
Well, they can, but we have to bring some out and cover it up. We have tarps to cover it up. We have a storage unit we can use, but, you know, we want to grow. We have to have more inventory to grow, and so with that, we must have more space.
Yeah, we've reached critical mass.
I'm very curious about your business for several reasons. I'm trying to start ITN Southern Delaware, which is an independent transportation network, and I have done all the demographics in the area. I'm just, Ed Simon actually has done them for me, and have learned that in the Long Neck area and Millsboro per se, that even though nationally 18% of the population in the nation is 65 and above. In Long Neck, it is currently 41%, and it is projected to be 56% 65 and above. Sussex County in general is the oldest county in the nation percentage-wise. Now, knowing that as your clients, how do you get advertising out? This has been our difficulty. We know that people that are pre-baby boomers, they use the telephone and the television and they read newspapers. Baby boomers have a tendency when they communicate to be email. Generation X communicates by texting. And the millennials communicate by totally social media. So how do you go about, and I'm trying to learn from you to use it myself, but how do you go about getting the word out to people who are seniors? We're finding that getting the word out is the hardest part. So help me here.
Sure. One thing that we did, is this not working?
Use this one.
Okay. One thing that we did was we advertised, we put up flyers in the community clubhouses, or like the Cottonets clubhouses, Independence Peninsula, all those places. We put up like flyers. Right. Had other people, when people come in, we know are from those communities, we give them cards, we give them flyers, we give them, so they can give to their friends. A lot of it's word of mouth, the business that we've gotten so far. We do the social media, and we have a Facebook page, and we have a website, and those have been good as well. But we find that just kind of mentioning, to the people that come in and advertising in those places. We have a very tiny advertising budget right now, because, but that seems to have helped a lot, because people come in and say, oh, we saw your flyer up in the clubhouse, and we had to come see what you were about. So that might be a good idea for you to try.
This right here is how we draw our crowds.
Additional questions?
I know another way social media has happened, because I follow a lot of stores and businesses on Instagram as well. And then that plays right along with Facebook, with the younger people. And even my grandmother is 70-something, and she has Instagram. And she's like, oh, I love looking at the pictures of National Geographic and this, that, and the other. So even like that, some of the pictures you put on your Facebook, take a picture of a new item, put it on Instagram. And I mean, people, I know for me, being kind of like on the cusp of X and millennial, I barely go on Facebook anymore. So there's all sorts of stuff I'm missing on Facebook, but if they have Instagram, I see it every day. So Instagram, like I say, your marketing, advertising budget's thin, Instagram's free. So there you go.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, we're trying to take advantage of, we have the Facebook page, we have the website. We're gonna probably do Twitter or whatever, some other ones. We also now started online selling. It's a lot of work, probably more work than a brick and mortar store, but
Very labor intensive.
it's another avenue. And our sales are down about 20% from the summer. We anticipated that coming in. So we're doing some other things to try to make up the difference. So basically right now our biggest thing is space. We're pursuing that, and yeah, I think that's our really biggest challenge. We've had some in the past. One of our goals is to help other entrepreneurs, not necessarily on a large level like you guys do, but we had a lot of difficulties coming in. It's very tough when we go for a loan, they say you have to have a year of business. We're 3 weeks old. We've poured everything we had into, so that's one of the challenges that we want to try to help some others
Kara?
hurdle.
Oh, I'm sorry.
On with your using your Facebook, I do direct sales companies. Have you ever thought of advertising your business on some of the yard sales sites? Because that would traffic to people looking for second hand and those type of items. I'm part of a multi-yard sale sites, and I advertise on there for my small business. And I've actually gotten a little bit of traffic from them. And my second question is, do you usually source locally for your wood and stuff that you use, like if you use crates and stuff, do you usually go to local companies that would normally have to throw them away or find someone to get rid of them?
The first question, in response to the first question, we do a couple, like Lower Delaware Swap and Sell. There's a couple that we're members of that, again, it's doing all the internet is very labor intensive. It takes a lot of time, but yes, we have used those avenues. And not much yet, but you know, we're getting our name out there, so it'll come. As far as the repurposed wood, the pallets, Tom, you get the pallets from different places.
We have a couple businesses that are friends of ours that they don't need them, so we get those, and we also have another supplier that, for whatever reason, he has hundreds of them, I don't know, he was going to make things and never got around to it, so we get his as well, so.
And we use like other things too, like old wood doors from like old houses, windows, and basically we just go to and maybe Habitat for Humanity has a bunch. We see someone who's tearing down a house, we'll stop and say, look, can we do anything with that door? Can we get it from you? Those types of things. So we just go anywhere and everywhere and do whatever we have to do to get what we need.
And as we wind up, we have one final question here.
You keep talking about the space that you have. There's two parts of it that I'm interested in. First off, how many square feet do you have at the present time? And what you project you need? That's the first part of the question. The second part of the question is as you were scrolling through there, are there items that are, and I know that you've only been doing this for 5 months, are there items that are high runners? And are there items that are slow runners? And is it an issue of trying to create more space through eliminating some of the things that are low runners in order to make room for the high runners?
Currently we have 2,500 square feet, and we're looking at a space, we have the opportunity to buy a space that's 5,000. We have things that are high runners and low runners. We do try to weed out the things that we know aren't gonna sell, so that we have room for the things that we know are gonna sell. We have, several avenues that we can get more inventory, like the furniture's great sellers, the bed frames, the, dressers, what, curio cabinets, those types of things. We actually have someone, who demos houses, and we have an excellent opportunity to get basically as much furniture as we can take, yes, but we can't take it.
Yeah, we just don't have a place to take it to, so we need about 5,000 square feet. The property we're looking at, it has that, has some outbuildings for storage as well. Hopefully, there's somebody sitting here that has thousands of dollars in their pocket, they don't know what to do with it. But,
Or unconventional financing of some sort would be wonderful, you know, anything, return on your money, investment, anything like that.
That's great.
Yeah.
I have one comment I'd like to share with you, because I think the audience needs to know this. You mentioned about cleaning out, but when I saw their business cards, they really talked about cleaning out. And given the population of that area that you're in, I think that is a very valuable asset that you have to promote, because people are downsizing or unfortunately loss of life, things like that. So I would encourage you to really promote that end. And although you started to kind of lead to it, finally, what can we as a community do to help support you?
basically patronize our store, really, and put the word out. A lot of people still don't know we're there. We have signs out, the building sat vacant for a year, so they just really don't even look over there anymore. So it's just a matter of being in the community long enough to people so they know. Unfortunately, we may have to leave that. We have a high traffic count there, but we have to give something for the other, unfortunately.
Are you hoping to find a building in that vicinity?
It's not far from there. It's 6 miles from there.